So I'm here today with Jeff Cvetezar, president of HMI Company. And HMI is the premier distributor of mud jacking, concrete lifting equipment, and supplies in the United States. Jeff, I asked Jeff to join me today on our webinar to share his company's experiences with Estimate Rocket. I know that may sound a little self-serving as I'm the president of Estimate Rocket, but I do think it's a valuable experience for all. I truly believe that our sharing of our experiences can help everyone to get more from the tools we use and all to become better businessmen. And I know there's plenty of business out there for all of us. We think we know at Estimate Rocket how it works, but we don't always know how people are using it. We really want to be able to continually make it better for you. So sessions like this are very helpful for us, and we really love getting people's feedback. As we go through the discussion, there is a little chat icon at the top of your screen. If you want to click on that, you can leave us a message, and we will try to answer your questions at the end of the webinar. And so we'll launch off. Jeff, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your company?
Sure. First of all, you did very well with the last name. So,
thank you.
I'm Jeff, president of HMI. We manufacture and sell slab jacking equipment and poly raising equipment and train people essentially all over the world on how to use it. What makes us unique in this is that we also have a contracting company here in Wisconsin that does about 1,500 to 2,000 jobs a year. So we actually know how to use the equipment, and we know a lot of the hurdles that some of our contractors go through with their software and that. So that's why it was a good fit with us and Estimate Rocket to use it and then offer that to our customers.
Great. Just a little background on Estimate Rocket. As a lot of you probably know, it was released in 2014, and we now have over 350 users throughout the U.S. and Canada, and even a couple of other countries. So we're pretty excited about that. And HMI has been with us from the beginning and has played a vital role in really making Estimate Rocket what it is today. Jeff, can you give me a little background on why you guys originally, you really approached us and said, hey, we need a tool for this. What made you do that?
Time. That was the biggest issue for us. With our process, we receive about 20 to 30 calls a day, and we were taking all these leads and we're entering into multiple different programs to try and get the results that we needed. So when we signed up for the Estimate Rocket, what we liked is that like our estimator would come in the morning and he would put all the leads into a certain program, a map program, go back and forth with different programs. So you spend an hour every morning just doing that. The office would come in and they're dealing with paper copies. So we would have 7 or 8 different areas, so they'd have to sort each one out and pass it on to the crews. And the scanning that we were doing was just, we'd hire a part-time office person in the summer just to scan. When we get an estimate, the estimator would go out there, they'd give the bid. If the customer accepted it, we'd come back, we'd scan it in with a signature. If they didn't accept it, we'd still scan it in, so we had a digital copy of that. When the crew would go out to do the work, we'd get that. Any notes that the crew would write on the estimate that is done, the material usage, we'd take it back and we'd scan that in. Now, if we ever had an issue with the job where we had to go back, that was another scan. So we were scanning our copies in to try and get them into our CRM system. So it was very cumbersome for the whole process. And I know that as we were doing this, we were losing customers to the cracks. If we lost that one piece of paper before we had it entered in, it was gone. So it was a nightmare to try and manage all of our leads going forward with that.
A lot of duplicate entry and redundancy too. In addition to that, as people dial in, if you would, can you hit *6 to mute yourselves? There's a lot of background noise as people are coming on board, and *6 will mute your your mics so that we can, for Jeff and I at this point, we'll be able to turn those on later. Yeah, I mean, obviously reducing redundancy and streamlining things is certainly one of the key objectives of any automation project. So how has it made your process more efficient? What are the pluses that you've seen out of it?
Well, on the sales side alone, just the degree of professionalism that our estimators have now. They go out to a job site, and instead of taking the 3-ply estimates and writing it up, now they show up on the job site with an iPad, a tape measure. It looks just a lot more professional to our customers. And on top of that, when we were giving estimates, we were very conscious of what we're trying to bid. So in other words, we'd write what sections of concrete we're raising, and then our estimator, we required them to at least draw a picture of it. So the estimator would sit there and draw a picture of each section, marked down, and it just became very cumbersome. So
I must have made some very artistic presentations too, I'm sure.
Yes, I mean, if our estimators didn't have any of artistic talent, it became a challenge for them. I mean, that's for sure. So now when they pull up, with their iPad, so the first thing we'll do is actually take a picture of the house. Believe it or not, in the 40-plus years we've been doing this, we've had jobs where the crew's gone and done the wrong house. So it takes that confusion out of it. Then also, instead of drawing a picture, they'll go in and they'll snap a picture of the actual concrete itself. So, and they'll use a program called Sketch that we can mark the sections, put little notes in there, and have no confusion between number one, the customer, our crews, and our estimators. And then when they're standing there, what they'll do is they'll actually email the customer right from the spot, and it's all digital. So it's not that we've gone totally paperless yet, but it's really pointed us in that direction where we're not handling the same paper over and over again. It just allows us to do a lot more estimates, and just it keeps it very professional.
Yeah, and it sounds. I'm sure the photos solve a lot of problems, just not only before the project, but after the project. If if the customer has a complaint or brings up some issue after the fact, it certainly helps to have those before and after photos.
Oh yes, I mean it's even nice. When we first got this, our crew was out and they called in and said, "I can't get this one piece. I'm going to have to chisel all this concrete out." So I went on and I brought up the photos of the before. I said, "It's only like a foot by a foot." And he's like, "Well, how do you know?" I'm like, "I'm looking at the picture." All right, I'll go do it. So it helps in the long run too. So.
Yeah. How is it? Has Estimate Rocket been better or different, in a good way than the previous CRM systems that you've used?
Yeah, the big difference is that this is just tailored specifically to our business in the concrete raising. It ties the whole process together. We like to call it our tunnel, our customer tunnel that they go through. I feel like we can manage the whole process now a lot easier than we could before. From the time that someone calls in, we have a set of questions to ask. How old is your concrete? Do you have anyone else that wants to do this? We can manage all this. Where did you hear from us, or where did you get our name from? It's all tracked within the Estimate Rocket. And then the estimator and the crews can come in. It's very easy for them to map themselves out. It's the whole process is tied together very nicely with the CRM system. So we send out a set number of jobs that they have to do, and then a list of jobs that the customer mark come any time. So depending on how their day goes, where they're located within a city, they can pull from these other jobs very easily. So they can kind of schedule their own day much easier than they could before. Because in the past, if they run out of work and we want to give them another job, they would get their tablet out and they write down the name, address, the sections of concrete to be raised, and then the office would try and describe the picture to them, so they could translate into what needs to be done. So it made a lot easier for the crews to handle this information when they're out on the job site. Plus, when we have neighbors or whatever come over, it's easy for them to actually give a bid also right there on the spot and able to do it. So the pictures are the biggest thing for the crews, though. They really like the pictures because there's no confusion. I know I've told the story quite a few times, but, we had a job where, the crew went out and did the work, and the lady called that night and said, "You cracked my concrete." I went over there the next day, and I went there, and I said, "Is this what you're talking about?" She goes, "Yes." I said, "There's an inch worth of grass growing out of it. Our crew did not crack this yesterday." And she goes, "No, I didn't notice it before. It was from your crew." So when you have a picture, it's very easy to show people that the before and after picture in those types of situations. So with us, once the job is done or the estimate's given, we instantly send another email saying, the benefits of hiring RaiseRight. Why would you want to hire RaiseRight? This is what to expect from the job. And if they don't accept in, let's say, 5 to 10 days, they get another email, just kind of maybe giving more before and after pictures, a little bit more detail on the job. And then after the job is done, they actually get another email, automatic. And this is all automatic. It's not someone in our office sitting there doing it. It's all automatic. Sending out a survey. How did we do? How did the crew do? How did the office do? It's all automatic. And then on top of all that, with the email blast, when we have our backlog drops in the year, we'll send out an email blast to everyone that hasn't accepted and say, here's a 5% summer discount. Or when we start up in the beginning of the year and we don't have any work, we'll send out an email blast to everyone that didn't accept the year before to try and generate work for the beginning of the year. So it really helps us stay in front of our customers, and we believe that our close ratios, the reason why our close ratios have gone up is mainly from this function alone.
Wow. And are you using the automated follow-ups, or are you doing those mostly manually through the emails?
The blasts are manual, but otherwise everything else is automatic.
Right.
So we have it, with the Estimate Rocket, every different step throughout the process is kind of labeled. So we set up them basically based on where they are in the process or the tunnel.
Okay. Wow. Definitely the automated follow-ups is probably one of the most exciting things, from our standpoint. We've definitely seen a lot of customers using them. A lot of customers haven't jumped onto them yet, and I think we're going to be doing some weekly webinars just to, give people more insight into how some of the features work, and I think that hopefully that'll help people get a little more benefit out of that feature, because I know it's a little maybe tough to get going with it. When you're actually creating your estimates, does the system do anything special for you to make the estimates better or more accurate?
Yes. Number one, consistency in the estimate has increased. If a lot of times, whether you're mudjacking or poly, if you're pumping a lot of extra material, it's cutting right into your profit on the job. Yeah. So now with the Estimate Rocket, the crew or the estimator can go up. Then after they take their pictures, they can enter the dimensions of the slab, how many sides have settled, how far it's down, and that will automatically spit out, number one, pricing based on the pricing you entered, and it'll actually tell you how much material you're expected to pump. So wow. It really gives us a good feel for how the job is going, how much material the job is going to take. And also it has an override function that, a lot of times we have a mid-job minimum, and you type it in, it comes out, you get pumped, a half a yard or, 10 pounds of poly, so you can actually override it with your job minimum very easily. So it's just the whole function of bidding a job, it simplified it, because otherwise our estimators are going out there with a calculator trying to figure out how much material it would take. And then I know when they go to the next job, it's pretty close to this, and I know they got lazy in the bidding process. This makes it very easy to give accurate estimates.
Sure.
So, and plus, it looks a lot better than the 3-ply estimates that we used to do.
Yeah, with the carbon paper all over your hands, right?
Yep.
And not to mention, I'm guessing a lot cheaper, because I recall years back I worked for a form printing company that made a fortune on those multi-part carbon forms. So they're probably sad to see you go.
Very much so.
Yeah. So we've kind of covered the estimating process and some of the sales process. After the work's done, after the job is complete, how does it help you? Does it help in the back office and with the invoicing and that portion of the business?
Yes. I mean, again, we don't send out paper invoices unless we're specifically asked. So once the crew the job is done, we email an invoice over to the customer, and from there, the system will kind of manage our receivables for us. In 5 to 10 days after the invoice is sent out, an automatic email will be sent out to the customer saying, "Hey, friendly reminder, you have this much due." In 30 days, it'll actually trigger a spot on our office's dashboard to have the office call them and give them another reminder. And it does this throughout the whole process. So it takes a lot of the receivable, or at least the problems with collecting out of it, in the fact that in the past we'd always wait to the 30-day mark, and then we'd call it a 60-day. It was just a series of phone calls. Here, the emails that automatically go out seem to generate a lot of payments before even the 30 days, just to keep our office a little bit burden-free.
Yeah, I think one of the, there's a lot of tricks to using the email templates and being able to, you can give them gentle, nice reminders that they almost think you're just following up to thank them, when in fact you're really, also nudging them with a gentle reminder that they need to pay their invoice. So you really can, kill two birds with one stone, I think, and look good and have them be impressed with what you're doing, and at the same time nudge them in the right direction.
Yep.
Actually,
Tom, going back a little bit to where our crews, our estimators go out, because I see a note here, and I actually didn't go on to. What we do also, because I see someone asking, when they give the estimate, you can open that up in a sketch, and they can sign it right there on the spot for them. So I just want I know I see someone mention that, and I skipped over that. When you're with the customer, you can take the estimate, open it up in Sketch, and they can actually sign it right there for your approval. So,
wow.
I'm sorry, I went backwards a little bit.
No, that's good. Actually, that is always good use for Sketch is a pretty handy tool.
Yes.
We may have to do a little help page on how you're doing that. I think there's quite a few people that'd be interested in that.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Is in terms of just in general managing the company, are there specific reports or things that you find you use a lot, and how does that help you to be more effective and have more actionable information?
Yes, the reporting is second to none. From where the sales are coming in, how we manage our marketing program. We'll put in a postcard, and if we're getting a lot of leads from it, we'll do another one. So the reporting on where the calls are coming in is great. How much the crew has done on a daily, weekly, monthly basis is great. I've been accused of sitting in my office hitting refresh throughout the day just to see how the crews are doing. Again, you can see receivables, how much someone owes you in the 30, 60 day. I like how we can break it down to each salesperson, how much each salesperson has sold. Again, how many estimates were given total? Open orders, how much do we have in mudjacking or poly? And actually then how many orders haven't closed and what we can do to incorporate a plan for those. So the reporting on the Estimate Rocket is, I would say, is second to none, and it's fantastic.
Great. I mean, it sounds like it's giving you information that you can take action on, and helping to keep the people in the field and the salespeople more accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any things that you're and I see there's a few questions popping up, so I'm sure those are some of the things that'll for future opportunities. But what kind of things do you see for the future? What are the things that you need or can see that might take you to the next level?
Well, I think some of the things that we would like is like a job costing to see the profitability on each individual job.
Sure.
A place to enter the material where you can take that, or even an inventory control method on here. So those would be some things that I think would be great to work on for the future. Great.
Excellent. Well, those are we definitely, as I mentioned earlier, we really love feedback, and for all the people that are listening, we really love to hear what you're looking for. We can't guarantee that we can do every single thing everybody asks for, but we certainly listen to what people are asking for, and our goal is definitely to make you happy. So we'll do our best on those things. It looks like we've got a few questions. I might have a hard time calling these out of the list here, but I see one question about can videos be attached like photos, which is interesting. I hadn't seen that one before. I'm not sure if that's in terms of a video, like a promotional video, or a video of the site. But yeah, I think depending upon how large the files are, you probably could attach the video. You can also certainly put a link to the video. If the video is on YouTube or somewhere, you could embed a link into the email template or into the actual estimate itself. And I can, we can definitely help with that if somebody wants to follow up through the help desk later on that one. Let's see here. Trying to scan down them. The signature one, that's another.
A form that you create for the estimate. You can bring up the estimate that you just gave with the signature page on it. Take a screenshot of that estimate, and then open it up in Sketch and give them the option to sign that. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. Another question about live walkthrough on the process. I would, based on our time frame today, I would encourage you just to, if you go to estimaterocket.com, there's a sign up for a demo, or just give us a call, and we'd be happy to schedule an online demo with you anytime and take you through the whole process. And it takes anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour, depending upon how many questions you ask. And I will say that most people think it's going to take 10 minutes because they're not going to like it, and it ends up going an hour. So it's just my experience. Another question there: can invoices be uploaded to an accounting software like QuickBooks? We do have an interface to the QuickBooks desktop version, and are certainly looking in the future to other integrations to other accounting packages as well. So, anyone's on there that I missed? I think I got them all.
If you there is a free 30-day trial for anyone also. So if you want to just try and use it and see what you think, I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Yeah, I highly encourage that for sure. I think we're just about at our half-hour mark, and we want to kind of stick to the guaranteed time here. You send by date edition. Yeah, that's another one. Another question just came in about a send by date in addition to other options. What you can do currently is you can use the send later option. So it you can't use this in a follow-up campaign, but if you do a plus email and you at the bottom you can say send later, and you can put in a specific date and time that you want that email to be sent. So you can absolutely schedule an email to be sent at a certain time. And if you do want to do a global mailing, you can export your projects list or to CSV, and the result of that is something that you can import easily into MailChimp or one of the other mailing, bulk mailing applications out there. And all right, one more question: how much is the program? What we're talking about today. What Jeff has been describing in terms of the process is basically a $30 per month per user fee. But again, encourage you to go to the website and check out estimaterocket.com. There's a lot of information there, and certainly call us. And we'll also be doing we're going to start doing a weekly webinar, web training session, just kind of reviewing different parts of the Estimate Rocket product, and also taking input and questions from people in a similar fashion as today. So we'll be starting those in 2016, which isn't too far away. So I guess in closing, I just want to really thank everyone who came today and listened. We really appreciate you being here, and I really want to thank Jeff for taking his time to do this. It's very helpful to me, and I hope to others, to hear how people are using things and the benefits that they're getting out of them. Sometimes it's hard to see when you first get started with it, and certainly over the long run has a big payback. So. Again, thanks, Jeff. Thanks, everyone here, and want to wish everybody a safe, happy, and prosperous New Year. Jeff, any closing thoughts? Nope.
The last question: do you measure does it account for voids underneath?
Oh yeah.
No. If there's a couple of inches, if you can see a couple inches, say an inch or two, add that into the amount that's settled. To try and figure out your depth of how much you're going to pump. So, but sorry, I just want to answer the last question. So,
no problem.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Jeff, and Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.